No, just watch the Last Witch Hunter or whatever.
Do I have to?
It's like...
Can I watch Top Gun instead?
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Is that the... Oh,
hey, I'll fly
you're not
with you.
supposed to say
I'll
that.
fly with you. Why? Top Gun is a great movie, but Top Rum is an even better shirt.
Top Gun 2.
Welcome to Curiosity Public. My name is Dutch.
Jules here.
Dylan.
And welcome to yet another episode of our Ultimate Spirits Competition, our quest to review every sipping spirit on the face of the planet and subject it to our 100-point scoring system. And in this episode, we're going rum.
Barbados,
We
baby.
only review Foursquare.
And we have top rum shirts. No, we've done a few other rums. We've done a couple of other rums.
Clement? Ty?
It's hard not to do a lot of Foursquare because it's just exceptional. Exceptional cask rum, like this one that we're going to be reviewing in this episode, which is the latest in the exceptional cask lineup, Shibboleth.
Which is a lesson at SAT prep.
I love that they're continuing with the vocabulary test.
Yeah.
This is a ex-bourbon cask, aged 16 years, pot and column blend. This is the 2021 release, and this is part of their exceptional cask. See that there? Selection mark 16. 56% alcohol, 112 proof. Not quite as high as some of the other ones,
Yeah.
but still up there. I mean, obviously, they aged it longer than any of the other exceptional casks that I can think of. So maybe that's from evaporation.
It is the oldest, yeah.
Do you guys know what shibboleth means?
No idea.
Seems biblical.
It is biblical. It is a word that was used in the Bible. And the context in which it was used in the Bible is actually what the modern meaning of it means. It's basically something that you can identify somebody as being part of a group or not. So, you know, in like Inglourious Bastards, when he's like, drei Gläser, and he should have done this, like that's like a shibboleth. Like it's a way to identify somebody as being part of a group or not part of a group by some sort of connotation like that.
So like Trekkies.
I don't
Or
know.
trekkers.
Trekker. Yeah, using the word Trekkie or Trekker. Yeah. Pronouncing Linux or Linux. Maybe, maybe not. This is not a vocabulary show. This is a show where we drink spirits, so why don't we drink some shibboleth? Dylan, you got anything else on this one for us?
Yeah, so, I think one thing to note every time we bring up Foursquare is Richard Seal, right? The founder and head of Foursquare. He is a huge advocate for rum. I think he's a vocal advocate, and he goes out there and basically says, we need to, standardize some of these kind of what is required to be considered as rum. He does not want coloring. He does not want like added sugars or additives.
Great points.
Which basically for us, it's fantastic.
Love
right?
it.
We support that. I think after you try this and you try some of these other rums with other stuff added into it, it gets a little difficult. It's a little bit difficult.
Well, it's refreshing
I like
because
the transparency.
Yeah, the transparency is great. I mean, rum is tricky because like some of the countries that produce rum do have requirements. Like I think Jamaican rum, for instance, you can't put any sugars in. But a lot of the other ones, there's no labeling requirements. And so he's taken upon himself to say, hey, look, transparency. This is how we make it. There's no added sugar. There's no added coloring. And in general, Foursquare is putting out some fantastic stuff. And yeah, I think we did a drink through of a number of the Foursquare products. We've done a review, I think, the 2008 Foursquare, which is on our leaderboard, which was an exceptionally good one. But we've done other rums, and we continue to expand our rum reviews. We'll add to that, but let's get into Shibboleth. And
We'll add to it with another Foursquare release.
well, we need to do another Foursquare drink through because we have a bunch of other Foursquares. And I'll give a little teaser here for our members. If you're a member of Curiosity Private, at the end of this episode, we're going to film a taste-off exclusively for members between the Shibboleth and the Redoubtable, which is the 14-year-old one that they released last year.
It's like SAT versus ACT.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Me either.
It's a T.
Didn't bet.
So
So everybody got a 1600 though, right? I'm assuming.
I thought you got an 1800. Remember?
I Kobayashi Maru'd it. I rewrote the test. This is a tough one. Actually.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. You got
Wow. Punchy.
I could save it for the discussion, but do you guys think the nose is overproofed? The nose reads higher than
Not really.
Not really.
112?
No.
No?
Maybe because I just had the 2008 recently.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Show the cameras what you wrote. Apparently, Dylan gave this 150. You seriously Kobayashi Maru'd this one.
It's a new grading system.
Okay, guys, so we've had some time to taste. We've all scored it. We haven't looked at each other's scores. We saw
Dylan's crazy score.
Dylan had 150 at one point, but obviously that was not correct. But before we reveal our initial scores, Jules is going to tell you guys a little bit about our scoring system.
A little bit. I think everything about it. It's a 100-point grade system across 10 categories, and mostly 10 points each. That include aroma, flavor, body, complexity, balance, finish, uniqueness, drinkability, aesthetics, and value. However, flavor we value at 20 points, aesthetics and value at 5 points each. You do score metal in our grading system if you get a 60 and above. So we go from bronze to silver to gold to diamond.
All right, guys. Preliminary initial score time. We will discuss it. Obviously, our scores could change. My initial score? 74.
84.
75.
Okay, I think we're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have to just be totally honest or totally upfront about this. I had very high expectations.
Extremely high.
So I don't know
No
if that's
expectations.
messing with my score, but this is the second time I've tried it, and I've had the exact same reaction to it both times.
Can you give me a second? I need to cancel my order.
Go ahead, dude.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Oh, we should mention the price point. I don't think we mentioned that. 120? Is that right?
No.
130.
I thought it was,
$150.
oh,
Was that what it was?
I thought it was at. Oh, wow. Okay.
Thank you for
I
these
thought it was at
like
100.
cursing bombs. Now we have the editor has to edit every single shit.
Should I make it clear?
Oh, what's going on, guys? Yeah, 140 was the price paid on. By the way.
Yeah.
Now, we actually have some legitimate bleeps, by the way. Like a lot of the times we bleep stuff that shouldn't be bleeped. It didn't need to be bleeped, but Jules is always
It's mostly
the one.
me.
Okay, guys, let's kick it off with Aroma. Best part of this for me, I give it an 8.
I give it a 9.
I give it a 9. This was the best part.
Yeah, this was the
I
best.
see where you guys are coming from. I mean,
It
there's-
started really well.
yes, I agree, but
So good.
I will say the nose was a little bit one note.
No,
Very fruity.
for me it was kind
getting-
of toned down.
No, man.
Like, everything
what's
was-
wrong with you guys?
You know what? It
I'm
was
getting
like
banana bread. I'm getting everything. Like all that
The
I
nose
would
is
normally
good.
get.
The nose is good.
It's so good, dude. Banana bread. Look at that. Coconut shavings on top of it.
it has room to be better. It's there. It's almost there.
It's so good.
but there's like a piece missing, like on the side.
I mean, you guys scored it a 9. That's really high. I mean, I think it's more like an 8 personally, but I see the 9.
Yeah.
Good nose, great nose. Let's move on to flavor. 16.
18.
Flavor, I gave it a 16.
Okay, so we're on the same wavelength again. Good things here. There's nice spices. There's nice fruit flavors. It's very drying, and it's also just 2-note. Like I didn't get a lot beyond that.
There was this oak component.
Drying. It's like tannic.
That's-
It's just a tannic.
Tannic component that's
Yeah.
like just overwhelming the kind of the tropical fruits that I normally get.
What I wonder is like, I'll disclose this now. I tasted this a couple days ago when I first got the bottle because I wanted to open up and make sure it had some air before we got a chance to review it. And I tasted it. I had the exact same reaction. I mean, as exactly as I scored it now is how I would have done it then. But I let my glass sit. I had a little bit left. I let it sit for like 15, 20 minutes. Came back to it. Exactly the same reaction. So I don't think it's an issue of it needing to open up. I'll come back to this at the
pretty
end
much
just to make
as
sure
is.
it hasn't evolved. But yeah. I just want to point that out. So
I mean, so you did get the fruits, but
there is good fruit.
But I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But then I think the wood component it makes the other stuff that is calculated in the overall flavor profile to be a little bit lacking.
Yeah, and the spiciness wasn't properly balanced, I think, with the fruit and the oak.
I don't know. I really like the spiciness.
So what did you get? You got
gave it an
spice and
18.
fruit. What else?
Yeah, I got this like amazing it's basically like a spicy grape experience, which was really fascinating
like
to me.
fig
which
more.
I normally get. Oh yeah, maybe fig, but which I normally wouldn't get from this offering. That's why it really stood out to me. Because normally it would be on the tropical fruit side, but then it's like, whoa, that spice component. And maybe that's what I was really tasting is the oak side, but I just really attribute it to the spice. It was so good.
Definitely do not give this to your dad.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
All right, guys, let's move on to body 7.
8.
Yeah,
Mouthfeel was good.
it's okay.
It's okay.
This didn't coat my mouth with that richness that a lot of the other offerings did.
Yeah.
And again, I'm very much comparing this to other Foursquare. I can't help but do that.
Of course.
You know, and I think it's almost a strike against it because if I think we didn't know of any of the other Foursquares, we might be rating this a little bit higher than we are.
Fights up there with it, man.
Because I felt like we tried the honey barrels.
Yeah.
And like this was
This is like
lot B.
This is the one they tasted it at 12 years. They're like, no, it's not good enough. They tasted it at 14, like, no, not good enough. And they got to 16, they're like, it's not going to get any better than this. Let's just release it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to complexity. I did find it quite complex. I got some interesting spice. I got some interesting fruit. I got an interesting oak component. I didn't think they were well balanced necessarily, but I give it an 8.
I give it an 8.
I give it a 9.
We're just going to be reaching across Jules' face.
I mean, describe the components.
You just described why it's complex because I'm getting all of those different notes.
But I'm missing that tropical fruit that you said you got from the other ones.
I mean, because I was getting a lot of the I was getting a lot of the banana. You know what I mean? So banana really stood out to me. Again, I had said earlier, it's like a banana nut bread coated with like a spice grape, essentially, and like spice coconut even. I mean, yeah, there's a spice component. Again, maybe that is the oaky side that I'm really experiencing. I don't know, but I just attribute it to the spice, and it was really good.
Okay.
Interesting. Don't want anything to that?
Complex.
Nope.
Okay, moving on to balance. It was a little out of whack for me. 6.
Yeah, it was a little out of whack for me too, but I give it a 7.
I gave it a 7. I'm going down to a 6.
I agree with you. I mean, I was kind of where you were.
This was its weakest point for me.
Yeah, it's just that the spice is too high. The drying aspect of the oak is...
Spice is high. I mean, I just described that
very
really.
tangy.
So yeah, I think I will have to adjust my score on that.
So what are you going to?
5.
Whoa! What? When Jules reacts,
because it's like I reminded myself, like, it's, a lot of things was coated with spice. Like everything I described was spicy.
I'm left with spicy and drying on my palate.
I would say that it's not bad. Like it's not off-putting.
No, I don't think it's off-putting.
I mean, that's why it's middle of the road because it could be for some other palates. I think.
I mean, it skews toward it's relatively better than some of these other like very adulterated.
Right. They could have dumped sugar in this, right?
For sure.
And I give it that extra point to 6 because they didn't.
That's right.
Because there's still flavors here. They're not bad flavors. It's just it's the drying and the fact that they're kind of not at the right levels necessarily. Okay, you're staying at a 5?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the finish. 7.
So I give it an 8.
Gave it a 7.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, man, we're like
You guys are
lockstep here, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just struck with a lot of the spice and this oaky bitterness left on my palate. Like at the same time, though, it's like some of the spice components and some of the wood components are nice, but then there's aspects of them that are just mismatched, and it's just not. It doesn't sit quite perfectly.
Yeah, I get that, but I attribute that more to the balance. I mean, that's why I think I enjoyed this finish. Just because it was nice. I mean, it was one of those where, I am reminded of the spice, and I do get a little bit of the fruit at the end.
There's stuff that comes through, but
I
still get that hit of bitterness from the oak that just kind of is on top of it. And I think
I wasn't getting bitter, I was more getting spice.
It knocked it down a point for me because of that.
Yeah, I think the 6 and it's 6 going from 5 and then going to 6 and 7 is definitely because of the length. Yeah, it's there.
It's there.
And there's components.
And
there's food components and things like that. It's not well balanced because I completely agree with you about the tannic.
Yeah.
I cannot believe this is like an independent scoring system because we are on the same wavelength.
Yeah, and I mean, I keep saying bitter, tannic. That's not the only thing I'm getting. Like that's just the reason that it's a 7 and not an 8 or a 9.
I agree. Yeah, that's correct.
Moving on to Uniqueness. I gave it an 8. A 16-year-old Scotch. A 16-year-old rum. Pretty unique in and of itself.
Yeah.
The amount of oak I'm getting in a rum is also very unique. It is a little mismatched, but I still think it's unique.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It is unique. That's why I gave it a 9. I gave it bonus points, actually, because of the name and also the age.
Fair points.
And its age stated to 16.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Don't?
Yeah, so I gave it a 7. And the reason for that is I think
This is unique in
the
lineup.
positive
Just
and the
because you
negative.
didn't like it as much.
Excuse me, sir.
No. It's irrelevant.
The Richard Seal.
Your analysis is irrelevant.
Richard Seal's kind of advocacy, I think, is like it's a double-edged sword because I think it has brought rum to the forefront in terms of kind of transparency, and some of these producers are now stepping up. Like some of the changes that are happening with Kirk and Sweeney, and for example, 10 to 1. For example, they have the extra age one that I always forget to bring that we're gonna have to try as our drink
In the future,
through.
guys. It'll be here.
But that's why I think the uniqueness here, because I'm taking into account the flavors that I've had, the price, and all these kind of things. It's just not adding up, and it can't score as high, and that's why I gave it.
You did cancel your order mid-show.
I gave it a 7.
Okay, guys. Moving on to drinkability. It did suffer again. That tannic oaky hit. I give it a 7.
I give it an 8.
I give it a 7.
I will come back.
I have
to
a justification for it.
Exactly.
I will come back to this.
That's why I gave it an 8, because I think I will continue to come back to this, analyze it, maybe even let it open up longer.
Yeah, I'm going to let it open up. I want to come back to this in like 6 months and see, is it different? I'm curious, but did you just mouth?
I think I mouthed Curiosity Republic.
Wow. Screwed up even when you didn't
When I
say it.
mouthed.
So we have a Republic, public, and private.
Yes.
So there we go.
Yeah, I definitely will come back to this, but not right now.
Not always,
I mean, I not like I will to the 2007 to the 2008 to the Talents to
That's
the
why I talked.
Redoubtable to all of those. Like I just, yeah. Anything else, guys?
Nope.
Drinkability. Okay. Moving on to aesthetics. I like this bottle. I like the transparency. I like the age statement. I like that they tell us what kind of columns and what kind of barrels. It's a 4.
4.
It's a 4.
It's a 4. Look at that. We all agree.
Woo-hoo.
Good looking bottles.
Yes.
I think they are kind of setting the modern standard also for the transparency on the bottle.
I am impressed though that they got like the font size right, because when I see this on the shelf with all the other stuff, I mean, I can tell it immediately.
And I love that they
can pick it apart.
I love the coloration on the name. I mean, there's so much to love about the label. It's great. Okay, guys, value 130,
140.
140. It is a age stated 16-year-old
16-year.
cask strength,
have to
so I did give it a
remember
3.
I give it a 3.
I gave it a 3.
Well, look at that. We all agree.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I liked the flavors more, it easily could have been a 4 or a 5. I mean, like some of the other ones, I feel like I've gone higher.
Yeah.
This one just,
Yeah, I agree with you.
something
Well, at
off.
this price point, yeah, I mean, if I see 07, I'm grabbing 07 instead. I'm grabbing
08.
I was with you when
05.
you grabbed another 07
That's
not
right.
too long
Not
ago.
too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So there you go.
All right, guys. Well, let's get our final tally for Foursquare Shibboleth. My final score was a 74. I didn't change.
82.
74.
Which gives us our official Curiosity Public score for Foursquare Shibboleth 16-year-old cask strength rum.
Did it hold?
It is a silver at 76.6.
76.
I mean, a little surprising because, you know, the 2008 is still on our leaderboard at a 90. One of our very few Diamond Award winners.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I love 7.
I don't hesitate to buy Foursquare. This is probably the first one I've had where I kind of thought, oh, okay, maybe
ignore
they're
it,
not
huh?
perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe ignore it.
But I will say, I have some folks that I know that love rum. I think this
Too
is
far?
more compatible with their understanding of rum rather than our understanding.
And there's a lot of people that also say like the true test of a rum is how it is in a daiquiri or how it is in certain mixed cocktails. I think this actually would be
I'd want this
amazing in a cocktail.
I would love to see this $140 in a cocktail.
Well, I think you could make a truly elevated cocktail with this, especially because there are those oaky components that you wouldn't get from other rums. I really do think that. I mean, despite the fact that we only drink them neat here, like that's what we do on this show.
Do you know how to make a daiquiri?
A daiquiri? I do know how to make a daiquiri.
He does.
Can you make one?
I maybe in another episode we'll do that. But for our members, we will be doing this head-to-head with the Redoubtable in just a second here. But before we get to that, we have to end this episode. Thank you guys for watching so much. Still a great episode. We still love Foursquare, guys. Like, I hate giving something from Foursquare a bad score, but
It's not a bad
This
score.
is a silver,
This
dude.
is silver.
amazing.
for $130 rum, it should be higher than a 70.
True, but a
76.
silver is like double gold
Hey, a silver is a very good
in
score.
other places.
Jules, take us out.
Tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this episode, or even a thumbs down. Just let us know how you think. Subscribe for more videos from Curiosity Public. Hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload new videos. If you want to help the channel out, please consider joining Curiosity Private. We do have, we also are
This is
selling
actually the
t-shirts,
rejected
links.
one.
That also helps us in the description below. But Curiosity Private, I mean, you get new, unique videos where we do taste-offs, different things that we don't release to the general public, so please consider, and it does help the channel.
Early
out.
access to videos.
Early access.
Usually.
Yeah, we also have a podcast where we talk about other topics in the spirits world, spirits news, and also beyond that, pop culture, sports, all that good stuff.
Movies.
Check it out on all the podcast platforms out there. As always, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay curious.
I think this is the first one where it's like if people ask me, it's like pass.
This is the first one because
Well, I would
I've
actually tell
always
them
said it doesn't
pass.
matter. Just get any of them.
Any of them on the shelf, right?
And now I would say any of them except the Shibboleth.
Yeah.
It's just
The one that you can't really pronounce, ignore that one.
That's all.
Détente.
No, you can pronounce that. That's easy.
It's got like different letters. Man.
Shibboleth.